This your friend Popcorn here. Chilling. With the other friend, Leroy Jenkins. Chilling. That's what we doing, you know. That's how we do it. But anyways, today we're gonna watch this little bit of a video. Okay? So just bear with me. Alright. Okay, see?
They care about is your health, helping you to get through pandemics, to get through various crises. This isn't about surveillance, and at least there's no terrible, dark plan to observe even your innermost thoughts. No.
I did.
Klaus Schwab at the WF openly discussed new technologies along with an agenda to observe and track human thoughts. You're not going to believe this. I don't believe this, but sadly, it's true. Let's get into it.
Can you imagine that in 10 years when we are sitting here, we have an implant in our brains, and I can immediately feel, because you all will have implants, we measure your brain waves.
Klaus Schwab, the old Santa Claus Nostradamus, is always predicting somehow things that will happen in the future. Well, this is no different. The annual World Economic Forum gathering has always been a testing ground for some ideas that normalise all kinds of mass surveillance and sometimes extremely privacy-invasive technology. And monitoring people's brain activity, including via implants, was one of the technologies presented at an event in Davos this year by Duke's University professor Nita Farhani. Brain implants are not new in and of themselves and are used in medicine to treat some serious conditions. However, the kind brought up here at one point are the ones to be put into healthy people. Oh. Decoding complex thoughts is already possible, Farhani said during her Ready for Brain Transparency talk at the WEF summit last month. I don't think I am ready. You thought you were ready. Oh. And the tech is now also able to reveal the degree of stress somebody is experiencing, as well as what they are paying attention to. Stop looking over here at Davos. Look over there at those insects, and maybe eat some. So the goal is to know what or how a person is feeling and what they're thinking and what draws their interest. That could be a problem if it fell into the wrong hands. Why don't we look at whose hands it's going to be falling into? Klaus's hands. Let me put down my pussy blanco and pick up your brain.
First off, the video, it's going to make you see the future and understand a wonderful future where we can use brainwaves to fight crime.
Yeah, fight crime. Someone's thinking about crime. Surely there's nothing wrong with stopping them, you know, because no one ever thinks about doing something and then doesn't do it. So just arrest them. That's not already the plot of a major Hollywood blockbuster.
Fight crime, be more productive, and find love.
Also, find love in prison.
Even you can't believe how productive you've been. Your memo is finished. Your inbox is under
reading your brain.
And you're feeling sharper than you have in a decade.
They're giving an example of Popcorn.
Little life. That's Neo's life before he gets out of the Matrix. They're selling as the life you should aspire to.
Sensing your joy, your playlist shifts to your favorite song.
What?
Sending chills up your spine as the music begins to play.
Yes, it will send chills up my spine if my computer starts intuiting what mood I'm in when I'm in my horrible little drone cell as a slave to the state where even my thoughts are being observed by a apparently benevolent brain DJ. Oh, they wouldn't misuse that technology, would they? They won't become, sorry, you thought a naughty. You're going to have to go
notice your amorous feelings when she checks your brain activity and shift your attention back to the present.
One of the things that fascinates me about the old globalist dystopia is why they keep making videos about it and telling us that they're doing it.
You breathe a sigh of relief when the email she sends you later that day congratulates you on your brain metrics from the past quarter.
Well done. You have become a docile and obedient servant of the system. You never think a rebellious thought. You never do anything you're not supposed to do. You are essentially an AI robot yourself now.
Which have earned you another performance bonus.
And all I had to give up was my freedom.
You head home jamming to the music, with your work-issued brain-sensing earbuds still in.
We are going to tyrannize you into total banality, and you are going to like it.
The newest way to monitor attention is through a device like this one.
What can you do?
These are ear pods that are launching later this year. These ear pods, much like the video you watched earlier, are ear pods that can pick up brainwave activity and tell whether or not a person is paying attention or their mind is wandering.
The last bastion of potential freedom. Your own
They can
mind.
also go to
Your own thoughts.
store.7dimension720.com
The subjective experience of being you that no one, not your own mother or lover or child, will ever truly understand. One of the most painful yet beautiful things about being human is intimate relationship with the source of all things.
Available now! $50 from Amazon.
Your attention itself being turned into a resource, a measurable, a metric, something that can be bought, sold, contained, evaluated. This is it. We are seeing now the pathway to dystopia being laid out before us. When you look at what's happened geopolitically in regards to the conflict that people of Ukraine and Russia have been going through, when you look at the pandemic that all of us were affected by to a greater or lesser degree, and certainly some institutions benefited from, you can see now how the technology, the master plan, if you will, can be implemented. Attention itself, the one thing that is truly yours, can now be controlled, manipulated, monitored.
Oh, Lord,
Okay.
you hear that, people?
Well, you might think,
Control, manipulate. Oh, shit,
fine.
look at, listen
I
to
don't
this.
think fine. I think fuck off.
But even if we can tell whether a person is paying attention or their mind is wandering, you can't tell what they're paying attention to.
Wrong. Yes, you can. And you can shock them.
You would be wrong. Turns out that you can not only tell whether a person is paying attention or their mind is wandering, but you can discriminate between the kinds of things that they're paying attention to.
Why is no one getting up out of those chairs going, I'll fucking smash that thing? Because they're all on board.
Whether they're doing something
It's a wild
like
game out
central
here.
tasks like programming, peripheral
What do you do?
tasks like
What do you
writing
do, Popcorn?
documentation,
I don't
or
know.
unrelated tasks.
Like contemplating the freedom that was once a possibility that you gave up for convenience.
Like surfing social media or online browsing.
Michael, what are you doing up there? Just an unrelated task, Mom. I can see what you're thinking about.
He's a funny dude, Popcorn. He's a funny dude.
When you combine brainwave activity together with other forms of software and surveillance technology, the power becomes quite precise.
I thought she was going to say terrifying, but she said precise. For them, precision is a kind of weapon. For us, that's a lack of control. Their agenda and our agenda cannot be met simultaneously. They are at odds. If your interest is freedom, if your interest is democracy, then this is your enemy. But at least it's far off
You hear
in
that,
some
Popcorn? I
hazy,
hear it.
almost unimaginable future that will not be there to tyrannize me.
You may be surprised to learn that it's a future that has already arrived.
Oh well, we had a good run.
Everything in that video
Good
that you just
Lord.
saw is based on technology that is already here
Final
today.
countdown.
Artificial intelligence has enabled
Sing it, Popcorn.
advances in decoding brain activity in ways that we never before
You
thought
did it. You
possible.
tried.
Or moral.
We've all heard the whole idea that robots are coming for our jobs,
They're
that there will be no
coming. They're coming
jobs
for
left
our
for
jobs.
humans. With generative
They're already
AI, I think we have good reason
That's why
to wonder
Walmart,
how
all
we're
that
going
know
to
me at
integrate
W2,
that in
that's
ways
why
that keep
I'm trying
us
to scan them on
relevant and
stuff.
challenged and important in the workplace.
Saying it as
What
if it's
all those
like
other
a
crazy
tide
things
and
coming,
that
you'll
they're
see.
not involved in
You'll see, it'll be
creating
robots
these
feeling it,
conditions. There
stocking
could
it,
be
you
an
can pull it, it's
alternative
gonna pop
vision
back
for
up, it's
how
gonna
the
be
world
crazy.
is
It's
run.
gonna be-
And
you
it
gonna pay
probably
through to
would
the
be a
phone.
differing and
Just like you keep it
divergent and
Amazon,
somewhat
all them,
diffuse
you know,
vision. You'd have to have some
and you
agreed
just put it
upon
on the-
principles.
you just
And I
walk
would
through the
imagine
light,
that probably at the
it
top
takes
of those
it right out of your
principles would be the
account.
respect
That's
for
where it's going,
individual freedom,
Popcorn.
collective
I
freedom,
know.
democracy, community democracy, the ability to
Let's go.
freely trade
What
and
can we do?
pursue
Nothing,
individual
that's
support.
what.
Stuff that you find actually in like the Magna Carta, the American Constitution, the
can
right of Thomas
try.
Paine, the right of great thinkers throughout history
did it before.
enshrine these principles and ideas. These ideas cannot survive in the
Maybe.
environment that's being created here. They
said we
will
can't
not.
survive.
What do you think's happened in the last 20 years? Of course, there have been so many glorious commodities from the 50s onwards, but this, my friend, is not a future that I want to live in. Because
Me
this is
either.
not about humanity, it's not about freedom, it's not about divinity, it's not about connection. And the reason it isn't is because all those values have been buried and lost in exchange for materialism, individualism, commerce, commodity. And this is the price you will pay. Because if there is no sublime, then there is no reason to regard individual freedom of a
talking some stuff
person's
now.
mind as something that is
I agree
actually
with everything.
sacred.
I barely
But there's a
watch 'em, as you
different
see.
pathway forward, which is a
look at this
responsive
hole.
workplace. One where humans and robots and AI work seamlessly together.
Seamlessly. A seam? That's your individual freedom. That seam, that's you.
gonna
Let's
take
get rid
over.
of that seam. Let's unpick that. There you go. Now you're part of a blob, an autonomous blob. Isn't that what you always wanted?
In one experiment, Penn State researchers were able to show that by monitoring brainwave activity with AI in a factory setting, the robot could sense stress levels in the individual.
It was almost as if the workers were stressed because they were laboring under the tyranny of a fucking robot.
And change the speed with which they were giving tasks to the human.
This is like WFA's finest. They're literally presenting the machinery of tyranny as a tool for your convenience. This is it. So, P, you're not along going, yeah, that would be good actually on the building site if all of my robot overlords knew my stress levels and could monitor the speed with which they hod carried and issued bricks to me. Where is power? Where is authority? Who's making these decisions? Who's guiding this AI? Who creates these algorithms? Whose objectives and agenda are ultimately fulfilled? Do they meet up anywhere in the world to discuss ways that they can say that the world is changing and improving without ever impeaching or impeding upon the interests of the powerful? Yeah, it's actually, by coincidence, is that same conference. Oh wow, what a coincidence.
Focusing in the world of wearable technology as opposed to implanted technology. And I do believe that within many of our lifetimes, we'll see healthy people using implanted brain technology as well.
Also, I've got an idea for Dinosaur Theme Park, which I know is going to be a winner. Unless those dinosaurs got out of there somehow, again.
And many companies are launching these earbuds and headphones this year that have sensors that are built in.
I suppose if these robots did get out of control, we could create another robot, send that back into the past to kill us now, to stop us now doing this. Or we could not just do this now and make sure that we have more democracy and, I don't know, a code of virtues and morals that underwrite this technological advancement. No, I prefer the robot one. Want to come to a dinosaur theme park?
When it's the same device that you're using to take calls from and also to listen to music from.
And centralized issues and decrees from the state, making sure you've taken your medicines. Beep, beep. And what's the problem there?
That also is picking up brainwave activity. It's integrated into your everyday life. But as healthy people, in a widespread way, start to have their brainwave data collected, the insights that we can gain through pattern recognition will exponentially increase and pretty quickly. That's frightening but promising.
No, just frightening.
Because think about most of neurological disease and suffering.
Suffering, of course. No, I remember now, suffering. How is it we get this stuff over the line again? Suffering. Oh yeah, suffering.
Already, gamers have figured out, for example, while a person is wearing a headset, how to, prime a person through their brainwave activity to be able to decode their PIN number and their home address.
So that's good, isn't it? I mean, who doesn't want to give their PIN number and home address to a stranger?
So you don't have to have your full complex thought decoded to reveal your thoughts.
Should we be doing this?
And how do you decode somebody's PIN number? You flash a series of numbers and see how their brain reacts.
Why are you asking me, perv?
So you have recognition memory signals that are pre-conscious and subconscious, and this is part of why it's been used, for example, by governments to interrogate criminals.
Oh, the government could use it as well. Yeah, those guys, they love freedom.
They're implanting brain chips in people.
Whoever we say is a fucking criminal?
Do you recognize this potential co-conspirator? Do you recognize this murder weapon?
I'll see y'all later. I can't see, so gotta see things up. It's like
These
they
are
live around
before
here.
you even consciously process information, so you could
but anyways,
prime it with a number and then see if a person recognizes it. And you can do it without them realizing that that's what you're doing.
I know you're thinking,
you hear him, you hear them, you hear popcorn to me and everybody else
before
talking.
you get worried about that,
It's
it's not like the
crazy.
people
They
that
trying
are
to
currently in those
steal our
positions
thoughts and
use
implant
big tech and
things in our
social
brain.
media
So
platforms
that's
to
about as far
penetrate
as
and
getting.
infiltrate and
it
control
is what it
narratives
is.
and not publish
So,
stories that are true but not
peace out,
favourable to
people.
their desired
See y'all
outcomes.
later.
Is it?
On these
Oh
internet
yeah,
streets.
no, that's exactly
Say
what
bye
it is.
again,
But they
popcorn.
will stop eventually. I've got
On
a
these internet
hunch.
streets, on these
You do
YouTube
not
streets.
have a hunch.
Like I said,
Hunches are illegal. You're going to prison.
like
It
they
wasn't
live
really
out
a hunch.
here.
Too late.
See y'all later.
Fahani revealed during her
720.com.
presentation that some form of
Or
brain
store
activity
dot,
tracking is already very
7dimensions.com.
much happening in the
Hashtag
workplace. Good
7dimensions,
news,
720.
everyone. To be
Leroy
precise, according to the
Jenkins.
professor, more than
Now go get
5,000
some damn
companies
coffee.
around the world are at this point monitoring their employees' brains for fatigue.